Sometimes do you like to know what your friends and family members think about you? What kind of ideas and thoughts about you? In a way, it's very important the way we are perceived and accepted by other people, especially close people. And do you think the Lord even curious about that, even though he came as the Son of God? He had so much power while he was on the earth. The Lord also wanted to know about other people's and thoughts and ideas about himself. So when he came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, when Jesus came into the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" So they said, "Some say John the Baptist, some Elijah, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered and said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus answered and said to him, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." We know that the Lord traveled and he visited many different places so that he could have opportunities to teach them the way to heaven. And the Lord came to pretty far north, which was called Caesarea Philippi. But at that time, when the Lord came, the city was very ancient city, and it was very Hellenistic presence. In other words, Greek cultures, language, their religion was very strongly present there. And the Lord asked his disciples, who other people think about me? And disciples answered, someone said, "You are the John the Baptist who baptized the people." And even some people say you might be Elijah, or you might be Jeremiah. We know that all these prophets passed away a long time ago. And they say, maybe you are one of those prophets. Now the Lord asked the second question. Now, not other people. Then, what is your thought? What is my disciples thinking of me? And Simon Peter, very courageously, he stood up and answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And the Lord was very pleased with this answer. And what did he do? He renamed. His name was Isaiah before Simon. But Simon was renamed Peter. And the Lord said further, "I will build my church on this rock." Because Peter came from the Greek word Petros and Petra. That means literally a stone, a rock, a boulder. So sounds like the Lord wanted to build his church on a person, Simon Peter. But the Lord refers to this solid rock. So the Lord wants to build his church on this rock. But here, think about the sequence of the story. When the Lord heard of that very beautiful, perfect answer, the Lord renamed his name Peter. And then right away he said, "I will build on this rock." In other words, his confession was like the rock to the Lord. His answer, acknowledging and confession, the Lord is the Son of God and the promised Messiah, in other words, Christ, the Son of the living God. So the Lord said, I will build my church on this confession. Because Peter's confession was as solid as the rock, it was as unmovable as the rock. So the Lord said, I will build my church on this solid foundation, and also the hell can have any power, cannot prevail against this church. There's no power. And I will also grant to this church the keys of the kingdom of heaven. So when we have this confession, the Lord can do so many things for us. And hopefully our all about will be the church founded upon this confession and on this rock. Can you see this? Can you find your classrooms here? Oliver, can you see your classroom here? This might be your classroom. This is Mr. Traptor's office. Here, your classrooms. And we are sitting here right now in the sanctuary. Can you find your classroom, Victor? Mila, can you find your classroom? That might be, right? It's kind of heavy. Where's your classroom? You are sitting here right now. And your classroom is downstairs, so we cannot see that clearly, but we can see the windows. Isn't that nice?
So this is the entrance?
That's right, school entrance.
And this is the entrance.
The lobby. So when we have that clear confession of the Lord, but in our new church, we know and we go a little bit further because the Lord clearly taught us in the prophet Isaiah, the famous Christmas passage, a child is born to us, a son is given, and his name will be called Counselor, Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So when we have this clear confession about the Lord, our church, my personal church, can be founded on this solid rock. No one can move. Amen.